So a quick look into the switch of oil and get a clue into where oil price is headed. The chart is a graphical representation of the motion of buying and selling. And when it comes to oil, everything you see here is the price of oil in the world market. And I'll tell you for free that oil price will most likely rise. Oil price will most likely rise. And the price action is very clear, and it shows that buyers might kick in at any time to keep that position. This is the position on weekly time frame for oil. If you look critically, you will see how this position has been upheld, and that buy impetus came from the structure, which I want to put into context in a weekly time frame. We have here as demand floor SR after break of structure retest, where demand been initiated. We have here as SR support become resistance and break of structure, and we have another key structure at this level, and that has formed our buy impetus. We have here, if you take away here, here's a resistance structure. We have here's resistance on weekly time frame. Go back to your chart to best understand it, and all this serving as a key critical demand floor. And we have seen it after break of structure. We have four demand floor: demand floor 1, demand floor 2, and they are all retest candle. 3, 4, break of structure. Price came back here, broke structure, and we've respected it, and we've gone from there. And let's go back to our line charts to pick the previous highs and put it into context. So we are looking at a possible case scenario: oil rising. Where could price head? There is a very high probability that oil could rise again, but we are going to check to see the possibility. We have here as RS resistance becomes support. That's an ascending trend line. That trend impetus came from those 2 points. These are two highs after break of structure, giving us an ascending trend line break of structure, formed by continuation in 1 weekly time frame. And you have seen price. And when we broke back from that structure, we have a retest after break of a demand floor on a weekly time frame, and you see another sell confirmation initiated after breakout from that trend impetus, and you see what happened there. Price had a deep down, respecting market structure, reaffirming that market structure is real. Now you see price returns here and made a few touch on that structure, and the price is going back. But we do like to look at it, the extent of rise. But I know for sure that on a technical rise of oil based on geopolitical tension, I want to say something that was going on in Venezuela. Venezuela sits on the highest oil deposit in the world, and to put it into context, United States do not need Venezuelan oil, but what is more important is how the oil is being dispensed. For a long time, China has been buying crude oil below global price in the market through the back door from Venezuela and Iran. And I'll tell you for free, the Iranian regime might have some issue, and the Venezuelan collapse and putting the oil price back to where it is. Now you see that China have lost a global supplier. Venezuela happens to 90% of Venezuelan oil sales goes to China, and these oils are sold at below price. And this buying crude oil below price is fueling Chinese economy. And I tell you, the losing the grip in Venezuelan oil supply with time begin to, interpret very well in Chinese economy. And everyone know that China is the second consumer of crude oil after United States. So for them to be cut off from a cheap oil supply, that could technically begin to slow down the Chinese economy. And we also see that coming on Iran. These are biggest crude suppliers of United States. Iran is next. If the Iranian regime under Ayatollah falls, China is going to have a very serious problem. They're going to have a very serious problem. And technically, I see disruption in oil price because there's going to be a global destabilization in the market, and this global destabilization in the market could technically push oil into breaking out from the weekly descending trend line pattern that have held price bondage for a very long time. So if this pattern is broken, I'll tell you for free that we could have a strong sigh of relief. And what I see technically here is a situation whereby oil could just on geopolitical tension, and we could have a rise in price of the yes, I'm seeing a situation like this. I'm seeing a situation like this. But I think the closest situation we are going to monitor is the breakout from the weekly descending trend line. So I want to see a breakout from the weekly descending trend line from the line chart close. So I want to see what happens, because you see, we go back here, we see what price have done. Every time price touches the descending trend line, and that trend line impetus came from the RS1, RS2, RS3, 4, 5. So if we return back and we manage to break that structure, that would be a nod for buy confirmation. And getting a nod for buy confirmation, we also watch an existing trend that we we have we broke the structure, and I think there's also a structure at this area. Let's put that structure into context, because I'm hoping that push back into the zone could likely reinforce. I think a breakout from here could mean that oil advanced take profit could be in that season, could be in that zone, you know. So let's see if Iranian regime survives. But if that regime collapse, believe it or not, as much as America do not want oil price rising, but global tension and the supply disruption could technically shoot back the price of oil, which also favors the United States. So even if we have that disruption for few months, and that could technically create a whole lot of supply deficiency, and of course demand will always be high, and this should shoot the price of oil up. So I see that oil has found a strong benchmark after we have SR1, SR2, SR3, SR4 series of breakout structure, and price return back to respect a previous broken supply roof as a current demand floor, paving way for buy opportunity, and oil buyers have leveraged on that opportunity and open a long position, and we are seeing that long position, and it's going and it's going. So let's see if we have the regime sustained. But if Iranian regime fails, then expect the oil price, and most likely there's going to be global tension. Such global tension is going to bring the stability, and this will disturb and affect oil logistics. And once oil logistics is affected, global oil price surge. So I see that coming, the surge of oil price, and this is my perspective. So come to the comment section, let me know your perspective on the rise of oil. But I'm very keen that if price can break out from a key resistance which I'm watching, that will pave way for oil to have a free ride. I'm looking at this area. I'm seeing a structure here. I'm seeing a structure here. So let's hope that we are able to break out of this structure. Yes, so if you break out of this structure, then that will give a buy confirmation. I myself want to, go long on oil, but I want the structure to be broken. Let me change the color and also put into context that this is what I'm looking out for as a structural specialist. I want to see a situation where that this trend line is taken out. If this trend line is taken out on weekly time frame, then I want to look out for a retest after break of a descending trend line. SR1 support become resistance, and break of structure on weekly time frame 1, 2, 3 break of structure. Price found support at this level, came back, and now we're contesting. If we break out from here, price will most likely come back to test the descending trend line that have held price consistently on weekly time frame over a long period of time. So a breakout from this structure will be an opportunity to watch and see what oil buyers do. And I believe at that level, they could extend their gains into here where I see as a potential supply roof. So I see here as a supply roof, and so I'm hoping that oil analysis stands, and very shortly, I'm going to watch for a pullback to enter a position on oil long. Yes, so oil is due. So do have a good day. This is what we have for now. Bye bye.